leaving?
Thank you for not leaving.
Every summer I go to Ireland. For the last 7 years, I've been going to Ireland, and I take about 20 or 22 people with me. And folks like yourselves, if you want to go sometime, if you ever dreamed of going to Ireland, or if you want to go back again and drink heavily, you can come with me. And we visit amazing, beautiful architectural sites or archaeological sites, I should say, and cultural sites, the Famine Center. We go hear some of the best Irish music there is at night. And it's usually about 20 of us on a little bus, and we bumble around, and I sing songs, and we have a great time the whole... And I've met a good friend of mine, PJ Curtis. Lives in the Burren in County Kerry on the West Coast. And he's an author, a writer. He's a musicologist, and he's an amazing human being in his late 70s. And I had my fiddle with me. And I said, PJ, I got my fiddle with me this year, and I'm going to travel for the 10, 11 days. And I'm going to write a fiddle tune. I'm excited that I'm got my ears open, and I'm going to write a fiddle tune, you know. And he looked at me, and his eyebrows went up, and he said, Joe, he said, you don't write a fiddle tune. He said, that's not how fiddle tunes are born. He said, fiddle tunes are sacred. And he said, fiddle tunes come to you. They come on the wind. And he said, if you listen deeply and you listen down in your heart, he said, a fiddle tune will come to you on the wind. That's how they're born. And I said, that's bullshit. So we got back on our little bus, and we headed up towards the Blasket Islands. And the Blasket Islands are a little grouping of islands on the west coast of County Kerry. Some of you maybe have been there. And up until 1953, there were about 22 people still living on the island in little houses out there. But the growing conditions and the weather on the Atlantic coast was just unbearable, and they couldn't grow food, and they could barely survive out there. The Irish government had to subsidize them with food, and finally they just said, we're done. We're making you walk off the island. We're going to make you leave the island, I should say. And in 1953, they took the last 22 people off of the Blasket Islands. Now they're uninhabited. And so we were there visiting the Blasket Islands, looking at them from across the Atlantic. And I had about 3 hours to myself and my fiddle, so I decided I was going to go down by the water and listen to the wind and see what happened. So I went down there and I stood there and I waited. And about 22 minutes later, a fiddle tune came to me. Every note of it was just, I knew what the whole fiddle tune was. And I got out my phone real quick and I was like, damn it, I think PJ was right. This is crazy. So I started playing and I screeched my way through it. And I haven't changed it at all since then, since I wrote it. It's basically, every note of it was the same as that moment that it came to me. I've never had a song or a tune come to me like that. And I think PJ was right. And I call it Leaving Blasket Islands. That's the title of the tune. And in Irish music, there's something called a long note. And a long note is kind of when a community of people are together and there's music happening and everybody is exactly where they want to be. There's nowhere else they'd rather be. And in an Irish fiddle tune, there's often one note in a fiddle tune that is the long note. It's the one note that encapsulates the essence of the fiddle tune. And it turned out when I played this back for PJ, he said, you even got a long note in there. There's a long note came with it on the wind. And so see if you can imagine 22 people leaving their homeland and maybe the loss and sadness of that, and see if you can hear the long note in this fiddle tune. And it's not the out-of-tune screechy one.